Most people think being a millionaire means wearing designer clothes, driving a luxury car, and living in a giant house on the hill. That's the picture we've been sold through Instagram, commercials, and even some so-called financial gurus. But here's the cold, hard truth. Real wealth doesn't look flashy. It looks asterisk boring asterisk. It looks like driving a paid, off-used car, living in a modest home, and quietly investing every single month without showing off. The problem is we've confused looking rich with being rich, and that confusion is costing us everything. When you chase the image of wealth, you often end up broke. You finance the car you can't afford, stretch to buy the house that eats your paycheck, and swipe the credit card to keep up appearances. And for what? To impress people who aren't even paying attention. That's not success, that's financial slavery, and it's not just hurting your wallet, it's crushing your future. The millionaires I've talked to over the years, the real ones, not the Instagram actors, don't wear their money. They build it slowly, intentionally. They don't feel the need to prove anything to anybody. You'd pass them on the street and never guess they've got 7 figures in the bank. Why? Because they've learned that peace is better than prestige. Security beats status every single time. See, wealth isn't about what you asterisk show asterisk. It's about what you asterisk keep asterisk. It's about what you build when no one's watching. But our culture tells us the opposite. It screams at you to spend more, show more, flaunt more. And if you're not careful, you start believing that lie. You start thinking that success means living like a millionaire before you've earned the right to be one. That lie will trap you in a cycle of debt, stress, and frustration. And it will keep you broke even with a 6-figure income. Living below your means isn't just wise, it's powerful. It creates margin. It gives you options. It builds a foundation that can't be shaken by layoffs, market dips, or unexpected expenses. The folks who get this don't care if they're missing out on the newest phone or the latest trend. They care about freedom, about being able to walk away from a job they hate, about giving generously, about leaving a legacy. So if you're caught in the mindset that says, I've got to look like a millionaire to become one, it's time to snap out of it. You don't need to impress anyone. You need to take control. Start where you are. Get on a budget. Pay off your debt. Save like your life depends on it, because your future asterisk does asterisk. We've been told for years that debt is just a part of life, a necessary evil, that if you want to get ahead, you've got to borrow to do it. Credit cards for points, car loans to build credit, student loans as an investment, and mortgages so big they take 30 years to dig out of. But the truth is, debt isn't a tool, it's a trap. And the longer you believe that lie, the longer you stay stuck in a cycle that keeps you working for the bank instead of building wealth for yourself. Debt doesn't give you freedom, it steals it. Every time you finance a car, sign up for a new credit card, or take out a loan for something you can't afford, you're giving away control of your income. You're locking future paychecks into monthly payments. And the worst part, you've convinced yourself it's normal, everyone's doing it, but normal is broke. Normal is stressed out, paycheck to paycheck, with nothing left over at the end of the month. Think about it. When you have a $500 car payment, $3, 100 in student loans, and another $2, 100 in credit cards, that's $1, 0. Zero of your monthly income already spoken for. You could be using that money to invest, to save, or to build a cushion that gives you peace of mind. Instead, you're using it to rent stuff you don't own, to impress people who don't care, and to chase a lifestyle that's nothing more than smoke and mirrors. The banks love this game, by the way. They make billions on interest, late fees, and penalty charges. They want you in debt forever, because as long as you owe them money, they own a piece of your life, and they don't just get your money, they get your time, your energy, your stress, and your sleep. That's not a tool, that's a chain. The truth is, wealthy people don't use debt to win. They avoid it. They buy things with cash. They save for what they want. They delay gratification not because they can't afford something, but because they understand what real power is. It's not having a $700 car payment. It's driving a paid, off car and sleeping well at night knowing you don't owe a dime to anyone. It takes courage to live without debt in a world that worships credit scores and buying pay later schemes. It means going against the grain, saying no when everyone else is saying yes. But that's what separates winners from losers in the long run, because debt might feel like a shortcut, but it's really just a detour that delays your dreams. So stop believing the myth that debt is a financial tool. It's not helping you, it's holding you back. The sooner you break free, the faster you can start building a life that's actually yours. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that we just need to make more money. That if we could land a better paying job, get a raise, or start a side hustle, everything would fall into place. But here's the truth. You can't turn stupid spending. No matter how much income you bring in, if your habits are broken, your bank account will be too. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep asterisk. And if you don't learn to manage a little, you'll never be able to manage a lot. There are people out there making $40 zero a year who have more peace, savings, and financial control than folks making six figures. Why? Because they understand discipline. They live on less than they make. They budget every dollar. They prioritize needs over wants. On the flip side, there are folks pulling in $150 zero a year who are drowning in debt, living paycheck to paycheck with nothing in savings. It's not about income, it's about behavior. More money doesn't fix money problems, it just magnifies them. If you're careless with $1,000, you'll be careless with $10,000. If you spend without thinking now, you'll do the same when your income doubles. The habits follow you and they grow with you. That's why the mindset has to change before the paycheck does. Because if you don't deal with the root, the impulse to spend, the need to impress, the fear of missing out, you'll just keep digging a deeper hole, no matter how much money flows in. People love to say, I'll start budgeting once I make more, or I'll save when I get that promotion. But that mindset is what keeps them stuck. Financial peace doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It starts with being intentional today. That means saying no to things you can't afford. It means driving an older car when everyone else is upgrading. It means skipping the fancy vacation to put money in your emergency fund. These aren't sacrifices, they're smart choices. Choices that lead to long-term stability, not short-term satisfaction. The culture around us pushes consumption at every turn. Ads, social media, peer pressure, all of it says, you deserve it. Treat yourself, upgrade now. But what it doesn't tell you is that all those little splurges add up. And over time, they rob you of the future you could have had. Every dollar you waste is a dollar that could have worked for you, invested, saved, building wealth quietly in the background. You don't need more income to win with money. You need more control. You need a plan, and you need to take ownership of your choices. Because until you do that, more money will just mean more mistakes, more stress, and more regret. The goal isn't to earn more just to spend more, it's to create margin, build freedom, and take back your life from the chaos of financial mismanagement. The truth about most real millionaires is simple, yet totally opposite of what the world tells you. They live on less than they make. They don't spend every dime, they don't upgrade every year, they don't chase the latest gadgets, cars, or fashion trends. Instead, they budget, save, and invest consistently. That's not the stuff that goes viral on social media, but it's exactly what builds lasting wealth. The millionaires who actually stay millionaires aren't trying to look rich, they're working a plan, living with discipline, and playing the long game. This idea may sound boring in a world that glorifies flash. We see people post photos of luxury vacations, giant homes, and high-end cars. What we don't see are the credit card bills, the suffocating debt, and the anxiety that comes with living beyond your means. That lifestyle might look like wealth, but it's just smoke and mirrors. Meanwhile, the millionaire next door is quietly going about their business, driving a used car, living in a regular house, and maxing out their retirement accounts. No drama, no spotlight, just steady, consistent progress. It's easy to think if I made more money, then I'd be able to save. But here's the kicker. Most millionaires didn't start with high incomes. They built their wealth slowly by spending less than they earned year after year. They resisted the urge to inflate their lifestyle every time they got a raise. Instead of increasing their spending, they increased their saving. That's the key difference. You don't get ahead by earning more and spending more. You get ahead by earning more and spending less. Living on less than you make means saying no to things you want now, so you can say yes to things that truly matter later. It means choosing financial freedom over instant gratification. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. It builds margin in your life space between what comes in and what goes out, and that margin is where peace lives. Margin gives you breathing room when the unexpected happens. It lets you invest in opportunities when they arise, and it lets you give generously without fear. The people who win with money aren't the ones with the biggest paychecks, they're the ones with the best habits. They budget every dollar, track their spending, and stay focused on their goals. They don't buy things to impress others. They don't chase trends. They stay grounded, humble, and intentional. That's the real millionaire mindset. It might not be glamorous, but it works, because the moment you decide to live on less than you make is the moment you take control of your financial future. It's not about deprivation, it's about direction. It's about pointing your money toward a purpose instead of letting it leak away on impulse buys and lifestyle creep. When you live below your means, you open the door to lasting wealth, and that's where real financial security begins. Most people are waiting for motivation to kick in before they start taking control of their finances. They wait for a new year, a new month, a fresh start feeling. They tell themselves, I'll start saving when I feel ready, or I'll pay off my debt when I'm in the right mindset. But here's the problem, motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Some days you feel fired up, but most days you don't. That's why discipline, not motivation, is what actually gets you results. Discipline is what shows up when motivation disappears. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't rely on emotion or inspiration. It relies on commitment. When you're disciplined, you make decisions based on values, not moods. You don't wait to feel like budgeting, you do it because it matters. You don't spend money just because it's there, you tell your money where to go because you've got a plan. That's how real progress happens, not from a burst of energy, but from consistent, boring, intentional steps taken day after day. The people who win with money aren't the most excited, they're the most consistent. They show up every day with a goal in mind and the grit to follow through. They pack their lunches, skip the impulse purchases, track every dollar, and pay off debt with a laser focus. It's not sexy, it's not flashy, but it works because discipline builds habits and habits shape your future. Think about the person who goes to the gym only when they feel pumped up. They'll show up on Monday, skip Tuesday, maybe show up again Friday and wonder why nothing's changing. But the person who goes even when it's raining, even when they're tired, even when they don't feel like it, that's the one who gets stronger. The same goes for your money. Discipline is what builds financial muscles. Motivation might get you started, but only discipline will keep you going. It's not that motivation is bad, it just can't be your foundation. If you rely on it to move forward, you'll keep stalling every time life gets hard or distractions show up. Discipline is your anchor. It's what keeps you steady in the storm. It's what makes you get up early to work the extra job, what helps you say no to a night out so you can crush that credit card balance, what helps you stick to your budget when everyone else is splurging. There's nothing easy about being disciplined, especially in a world that rewards instant gratification. But the payoff is real. The peace you feel when you're not drowning in bills, the confidence you gain when you know exactly where your money is going, the freedom you earn when you're no longer a slave to your paycheck, all of that comes from the daily choice to stay disciplined. Not when it's fun, not when it's easy, but always. The difference between people who win with money and those who stay stuck is simple. Winners act today, not next week, not next year, not when things calm down. They understand that waiting for perfect timing is just another form of procrastination. You don't build wealth based on good intentions. You build it through action. Your future isn't shaped by what you hope to do, it's shaped by what you actually do starting right now. Every small, disciplined decision you make today is a brick in the foundation of your financial freedom. Most people get caught in the trap of someday thinking. Someday I'll start a budget. Someday I'll get serious about retirement. Someday I'll stop using credit cards. But someday doesn't show up on the calendar. It's always out there, just far enough away to let you off the hook today. And the more you delay, the more time you waste. Time is one of your most valuable financial assets, and once it's gone, you don't get it back. The earlier you take control, the more powerful your progress becomes. Compound interest, debt freedom, savings growth, it all works better the sooner you begin. The truth is, you don't need more time. You need more urgency. Waiting for your situation to improve before taking action is backwards. You improve your situation by taking action. You don't wait until you're out of debt to start budgeting. You budget to get out of debt. You don't wait until you have thousands saved to start being intentional with money. You become intentional so you can build those savings. The first step isn't big, it's just about starting right where you are with what you have. This mindset shift is where financial transformation begins. It doesn't matter if you've made mistakes. It doesn't matter how broke you feel right now. What matters is that you stop making excuses and start making moves. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Set up your emergency fund, cut up the credit cards, sell the car you can't afford, get on a zero-based budget. These aren't just tasks on a checklist, they're declarations. You're telling your money, your future, and yourself, I'm done waiting, I'm building something new. People often overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. A year of focused, intentional action can completely change your life, but only if you start, not when you feel like it, not when the timing feels better, but now. You don't need to do everything today, just something. Even a small step taken today is more powerful than a big plan delayed forever. There is no magic formula, no secret shortcut. It's consistent, intentional effort that adds up over time, and that effort starts with one decision: to stop talking about it and start doing something. The future you want, the freedom, the peace, the security doesn't happen by accident. It starts with the choices you make today.